What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already found us, we're on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, William Fratelli Cooking and Guns channel, where we post at least one now. We haven't been able to post more than one cooking video a week. Sometimes we don't even have time to do that. And then we post something on every Sunday that we started a couple of months ago called Sunday-Gunday, an episode of Sunday-Gunday every Sunday, where we post Second Amendment content related to firearms, firearm safety, all kinds of reviews on firearms, safety equipment, different kinds of body armor, and also some guidance and safety tips, maneuvering in uncertain times that we're living in. Tonight's episode of Sunday-Gunday is going to be a quick one. We're going to try to make it as quick as possible. You know, with me, sometimes some of these videos I start talking, and then before you know it, it's 45 minutes in. Our last video was pretty short. It's about 25 minutes. So tonight we're going to try to make that even shorter. Tonight's video is going to be one of these guidance videos, just another one of these videos to try to steer you in the right direction when it comes to being armed and responsibly being armed, and acting in a manner that's appropriate at all times. You want to be appropriate when you're carrying a firearm. You want to conduct yourself in a manner that's not gonna draw attention. You need to stay away from people when you're carrying a firearm, because at any moment's notice you can escalate the violence. So if you get into something petty, that's what the video is going to be about tonight. The title of that video is going to be avoiding petty disputes. You could get into something petty on the street. You'll be on the street somewhere, maybe you're at a supermarket, you're at the drive-through, you get into some kind of petty dispute with someone, and then something that can be something as small as just a disagreement could turn into a physical altercation. And because you're armed with a firearm, if that's what you're carrying, a firearm, you at any moment's notice you can escalate the violence to a deadly encounter. We don't want to see that. That's why we try to post these instructional guidance videos, just so you guys can get the picture. And we want to mix up the content as well. We don't want to just do the gun reviews. The gun reviews are fun and everything, but when it comes to the real reason why we started this channel is to give a lot of awareness, do a lot of talking. We do a lot of talking on this channel, but it's useful. It's good advice, not legal advice again, but it's guidance, and it's going to help you in the end. It's going to help you be a better person, to be able to take this thing serious, because we don't want you guys to get into any kind of trouble or into any kind of legal disputes with anyone, or end up in any kind of legal troubles. So we try our best to post as much content as we can. After we're done with this video, it's not going to be a long one. It's going to be pretty short. We got the whiteboard over here on my right. We're going to just give you guys a little bit of a visual of what we're talking about, and then towards the end I'm going to show you guys the duffel bag that I carry for work. Like I told you guys, I'm a police officer. I'm at covering a post now. Been covering a post for the last 10 years in a building. I'm no longer on the street, but I still have my preparations in place just in case situation arises and I need to act and move accordingly. I have a duffel bag with all kinds of equipment in there, a medical trauma kit, all kinds of other stuff, extra ammo. So I'll show you guys that towards the end once we wrap this video up. But for the sake of this video for tonight, it's going to be avoiding petty disputes. So avoiding petty disputes while CCW, while concealed carrying, or legal firearm, concealed carry, and avoiding petty disputes that you just don't need to get involved in. If it's something that you can't avoid, then once again, like we said in the past, you can't avoid it. It's out of your control. That's a different story. But for the sake of this video, apple juice. All right, so like we say, disclosure before we start this, and then we'll switch over to the whiteboard so you guys can get the visual aid. This channel is for educational purposes only. We preach lawful self-defense. We're by no means gun fanatics. We're not giving any legal advice. Once again, it's just guidance. We're simply voicing our opinions. We're not claiming to be firearms experts by any means. We just want you guys to know why you should maintain your firearms, responsibly maintain those firearms, and what you should and should not do. Message to the trolls as usual. We get trolls on here. It's been a while since we've gotten a troll or somebody acting like a troll, but once in a while we'll get somebody come out of nowhere, just pop up, and they just get in the comment section. They want to act like a troll and start writing all kinds of weird stuff on there. We're not going to tolerate it. We're just going to block you. We don't have any time to deal with trolls. So that's the message for the trolls. We're coming from 16 years of law enforcement experience. Myself, I've been a armed security guard in the state of Florida since 2010. I'm currently a police officer in the state of Florida. I've been a police officer since January 2014. I've worked for the federal government, Department of Homeland Security. I've worked for private entities in the private sector security, Blackwater Agency, Whack and Hunt, and a few others. Those are just to name a few. I don't have a list of the other ones I've worked for. I've worked everywhere. Shout outs. We're going to do shout outs now, and then towards the end we'll do our shout outs as usual. Gun Freak Nation, Trey 57 Production, and the Alert Zone TV. These are three YouTube channels that we collaborate with. Same kind of content like us. It's Second Amendment advocates that we collaborate with, that post all kinds of content like us. Some of it's firearms related, some of it's not. Some of it's fair use videos. You know, just giving a synopsis of what's happened in certain you know, surveillance footage and stuff like that, and what could have been done better. So a lot of different content. You know, some of them post personal content while they're working or cooking like us. So those are three channels. If you guys didn't catch the names, we'll mention them towards the end of the video again. Shout outs, that way you could subscribe to their channel. Hopefully you subscribe to our channel. And then so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna switch this video over to the second part here, so you could get a look at the whiteboard and what we're talking about. And then towards the end we'll show you the equipment that I was telling you guys about, so you could get a look. All right, stand by. All right guys, so we're back here. We have our visual aid as usual right here. You have the whiteboard. It's not going to be a long one. Again, I can't make any promises, but we just want you guys to be aware. We want to post a video tonight. We didn't want to do a gun review because that's just too simple. We'll leave the gun reviews towards the end because they're just easy and simple. They're fun. This kind of stuff right here is important. So we're for the sake of this video, like I told you guys, the topic is going to be avoiding petty disputes while concealed carrying. So avoiding petty disputes while you're armed. You have a firearm on you, big responsibility. Like we said before, at any moment's notice you can escalate the violence if you get yourself into any kind of physical altercation, or it could be a verbal thing. You're talking, you're just saying words to somebody else, and all of a sudden now you got yourself in a situation. Now you can escalate that violence. It's very important for you to avoid that. So we're just going to give you a couple examples tonight. A lot of this stuff is related to driving. So driving your car, doing certain things with your car that you shouldn't be doing. A lot of this might not be the car. You know, you could relate it to other stuff, but for the sake of this video, it's going to be while driving and doing certain things with your vehicle that you can avoid and you should avoid. So we're going to go ahead and put it on here. We're going to do example number one. All right, so here we go. Number one. So blocking someone in the parking lot. All right, blocking someone in parking lot. All right, blocking somebody in the parking lot. You should never do this. Sometimes people do it because they think it's quicker. You know, they could go in the store real quick and go grab something, and they see somebody there, they don't care, they're gonna block them anyway. This could create a situation that you don't want to be part of, because you're gonna be looked at as an aggressor when it comes to any kind of conflict that comes from this. So let's say you have your department store right here. You have your department store. Right, I'm not a great artist once again. All right. Let's just say you have the department store here, and then you got a couple of spots right here. So these are parking spots right here for the sake of this video. And let's say there's a car right here. I'm just gonna do a square because I can't draw at all. Sorry. All right, there's a car right here. You got all these other parking spots over here, but you, because you know, you're like they say, you're a gangster or whatever you want to call it, and you don't care what kind of situation you get yourself into, or you don't care if you're blocking somebody. Oh well, for them, you have better things to do, and you want to do what you want to do. You go ahead and you park your car right here. All right, and this is you. And you're going into, let's say, Publix or Winn-Dixie because you're hungry and you want to go to the deli and you want to go get a order of popcorn chicken, and you don't care who you're blocking. You had all these spaces that you could have filled. You could have parked your car. You left your car running. You left the car running. You went in getting your popcorn chicken. You didn't put any hazard lights on your car. Not that that would make a difference, but I think if you have your hazard lights on, maybe somebody think you broke down or whatever. I'm just trying to give you an example of why you shouldn't do something like this. You get your popcorn chicken, you come out, and now the owner over here of the car you blocked starts having words with you. You get into an argument, you're gonna be liable for this right here because you started the initial situation. You might have not thought you started a situation. You might think you're justified because, you know, we're living in the United States and we're free to do what we want. We're not breaking any laws, and it's okay, it's fine. You're not breaking any laws right now, but you're blocking somebody in and you don't know what situation you're putting that person at. They might be running late for work. Maybe they're just getting off of work from the supermarket and you happen to just decide you're gonna block them in. It could be a different situation. Maybe you're not blocking them in this specific location, but you might be parked somewhere else and you decide to block them. This situation right here, if this one decides to turn violent, if you start exchanging words, God forbid, and then all of a sudden you two get into a scuffle, you end up on the ground, and now you have that firearm on you, and you're supposed to be a legal, prudent, responsible, ethical person. You have that firearm on you, now you end up having to use it, or you get into some situation and the firearm's on you, you can escalate the violence to a deadly encounter, and that's something that we don't want to see. We see it all the time. It's happening all over the news. People feel like they're justified. You know, you do somebody wrong, and anybody could come up, like I've said in the past, anybody can come up with justification for anything. Anyone can. I've seen it before, especially in my profession. And when it comes to well, it's my right, and I was right, and this and that and all that, anybody can come up with that. And so the point of this video right here, example number one, we're not going to take too long on this. Don't put yourself in this kind of position right here. It takes you 2 seconds, 3, 4, 5 seconds extra. Take your car, put it in here, put it in a legal parking spot. I've seen this a million times. People park the way they're not supposed to be parked. Put your car in a spot, turn the car off. You're putting yourself at all kinds of risk when you leave your vehicle running. Somebody could break the window, steal the vehicle, and now you're out of a car just because you want to go get some popcorn chicken from Publix. It takes you 2 seconds more. Park the car the way it should be. You'll avoid all kinds of situations. This is just my opinion. You do what you want to do, but this is example number one, why you need to avoid these petty disputes. You don't want to get into any altercations with anyone. You don't want to create an issue over a $4.50 popcorn chicken just because you didn't want to wait. So you got to use this up here, all right? Avoid conflict. We're going to erase this for the sake of this video. We're going to try to move it. It's already 7 minutes in, including the 7 and change minutes that I talked in the beginning. I need to try to shorten my videos. All right, so that's example number one. Just want you guys to get the picture. Try to avoid this stuff because you don't need it. Example number two, this is going to be another vehicle related incident. Example number two, honking your horn. Honk, horn. Exclamation point, all right? Now, you have your horn. All right. This is your car right here. All right, there we go. Not a great artist, like I told you guys in the past. All right, so your horn is there for a reason. Your car was designed with a horn for a reason. If you see something ahead and it's danger, right? Maybe it's some pedestrian crossing the street and you don't want to hit them with your vehicle. You're trying to avoid any kind of situation. That's a different story. You honk your horn. You use it for a reasonable, justified purpose. The horn has started all kinds of disputes with people. The horn has started all kinds of arguments, all kinds of situations. I've seen a lot of video footage here in Florida where the horn can be something that escalates a situation to something terrible that we don't need. Something like this, danger, no problem. Honk your horn. But if you have a car in front of you and the car is at the green, or yeah, let's say at the green light, you got your green light right here. Okay, the light just turned green. Give them a second. Sometimes people are not paying attention. They might be looking at their phone, even though you shouldn't be here in Florida. At least that's against the law now. You can't be texting and driving, but people do all kinds of stuff all the time. People are ladies doing their makeup while they're driving. They're running late to work. Some people are having a snack in the car. They're having their coffee, their breakfast. You got to have a little bit of patience. Some of us are running late for work in the morning. I'm one of them. You know, most mornings running a little bit behind schedule, but you got to remember people are human. These things happen. Give it a second. You know, now if somebody's sitting through the light and the light happens to cycle through 2 times, okay, now, you know, it's a different scenario. Maybe go around them if you can, but honking your horn and honking it in a manner that's like you're trying to do it to get somebody upset to the point where you're just laying on your horn, that right there that's gonna cause all kinds of issues. I've seen it happen. It could cause a fist fight in the middle of the street. It's the last thing you want, especially when you're on your way to work or you're on your way to go get your kids from school, whatever your situation might be. You go in a grocery store. Honking the horn is another situation that you want to try and avoid unless you have to. Honk your horn really quick, honk it once or twice, no big deal. But if you just lay there and hit the horn and you hold it for 30 seconds, you're asking for a problem. You're asking for an altercation, especially if you're carrying a firearm and the person might be carrying a firearm as well. And they just get upset with what you're doing. That's going to be another scenario that you're going to want to avoid when it comes to being reasonable, prudent, responsible, and a moral person of morals. Moral and responsible person when you're carrying your firearms. You need to de-escalate. You need to avoid crisis, avoid any kind of escalation of any kind of a situation. Hotheads, like I posted that first video when we started this content, carrying a firearm is not for hot-headed individuals, so this is one of the reasons why. All right, we're gonna get to number 3. So number 3 is refusing to let cars merge. So refuse to let merge. Right? Got your highway right here. You got another lane right here. You got another lane right here. Let's just say for the sake of this video right here, this one right here, this top lane right here is going this way, the opposite way. And you got a big truck right here. Big truck. All right, let's just say it's a flatbed truck or whatever you want to call it. All right, and then let's say you got a car right here. And then you got a car right here. And we see this stuff all the time, especially where I live in Florida. I'm not going to name the county or the city just for safety reasons. We got an arrow right here. And we got an arrow right here. So let's just say for the sake of this video, we've got 3 lanes. and you got that lane right there. That lane is the opposite direction of travel. So the lane that this top car is in right here, he's trying to pass, and you got this car right here is not allowing him to pass. We see this all the time where I live, especially on bridges and places where it's not very safe. We have signs that say pass, and then we have signs that say do not pass, because the Department of Transportation knows exactly what areas are safe to pass, what areas are not, what areas are well lit, especially at night. You got this truck, it's going this way, and now this car right here in the bottom is not allowing that car to pass. This situation right here could turn out, it could be a catastrophic situation. It could turn out deadly. If it doesn't turn out deadly, this guy over here on the bottom might end up stopping at the gas station down the street because he has to use the restroom, or might need to go grab a snack. And you might encounter this car right here that decides to follow you because you didn't let them merge and you almost caused them to have an accident. This could turn out bad. This is something that you need to avoid. We see it all the time. It can cause an accident. It could get people injured. It could cause life, or cause death, or loss of limb. All kinds of issues. So this kind of thing must be avoided. Just another example of why you don't even need to be armed to avoid this kind of thing. This is just something you should avoid as a person in general. This is not good conduct. It's not righteous conduct. Like we say, righteous. If you have to put yourself in a position where you have to use some type of violence because it's a self-defense situation, justified self-defense, that's a different story. That's righteous violence, like we say. You never use any kind of violence or force against someone unless it's being used against you and you're justified. So this is just something that is not humane. It's inhumane and stuff that you shouldn't be engaging in. All right, example number 4. Middle finger. So you got the middle finger right here, and we're gonna just put high beams just to be just so we could get this over with and we don't take too long. High beams. So middle finger and high beams. Somebody cuts you off in traffic and you decide to raise your high beams at them and you give them the bird. That right there, something like that can cause an incident to happen to where, it's something petty. You don't need to engage in that. We get upset sometimes. Somebody cuts you off in traffic. Obviously, you're going to get upset, but you don't need to be engaging in that kind of conduct, because that right there could lead to something bad. It can escalate the violence, and it's a petty dispute. It's something petty. Somebody cuts you off, just let them go. Stay in the right-hand lane. Let them pass you. You don't need to be in a rush. You don't need to get into a car accident. You don't need to engage in any of these petty disputes. It's just not smart. And it's not something that's going to be good if you decide to engage in it. The person, let's say something happens, that person's going to explain to law enforcement that you caused this altercation because you cut them off, or they cut you off, or whatever the case is. And if you're wrong, you're going to be in a world of legal troubles. You're going to be liable for all kinds of stuff. So you just need to avoid this kind of conduct. Just avoid it. There's no place for it. Go ahead and erase this. All right, so we have we already went over blocking people in. If you block somebody, even in it doesn't have to be a supermarket. It could be, I'm not gonna write this one down because we already went over it. It could be homes and driveways. Just avoid it. Don't block anyone in their homes. Don't block anyone in their driveways. The signs are out there for a reason. It's common sense. You see a parking spot on the street, look to see if the floor is paved down. That's pretty obvious that it's a driveway and you shouldn't block it. There doesn't have to be a sign there that says no parking, driveway. Common sense. Common sense will get you very far in life. All right? So we went over that. Homes, driveways, and shopping plaza, blocking. Don't do it. All right? Stealing a parking spot. Steal parking spot. right, let's say this is you right here, driving your car. All these spots are taken. You got this spot taken, this one's taken, this one's taken, and then this one's taken, and there's a car coming over here. This car is coming, is getting ready to go here and take this spot, put a little arrow right there, and you decide to speed up right here because you're funny like that, right? You think it's funny, and you go and you take the spot. I mean, it's pretty obvious. If you see somebody getting ready to take a parking spot, I mean, sometimes it might happen that you're not aware, but rarely have I seen it. I mean, everyone's done it where you take a parking spot and you perceive that somebody might have been trying to take that parking spot, and you might get a dirty look from somebody or something like that. Just avoid that, because that could spark some conflict that you don't need. You know, just avoid it. There's plenty of other parking spots. If you have to park somewhere else that's farther away from the supermarket, wherever you're going, just don't do it. You know, just avoid it, because this right here could land you in all kinds of troubles as far as conflict and arguments that you don't need to be having. You know, save your breath. It's not worth it, right? Every action doesn't deserve a response. That's something I learned over the years. Every action doesn't deserve a response. Just because somebody did something doesn't mean you have to respond to it. You have to be the bigger person. You have to be, especially if you're carrying a weapon on you, you don't need any kind of attention. All right, and then we're at the last two. I'm gonna go ahead and just include these two, that way, for the sake of this video, that way we could finish tonight. We're looking at almost 19 minutes and change here, so it's gonna be about a 28-minute video for tonight. Pretty good. All right. Tailgating. So tailgate. And then we're gonna do plus blasting music. All right, so tailgating, bad thing. If you get into an argument with someone on the road, or something ends up happening and somebody decides to pull over and you pull over, and now you have an issue because you were tailgating them, that's gonna put you in a spot that you don't need to be in. It happens, you know, sometimes somebody's going so slow in front of you and you don't mean to tailgate. It can happen, but the minute you realize you're doing this kind of thing, you need to just step back, slow down, avoid it, switch lanes, whatever you can to avoid this, because tailgating can start an issue with people. You know, some people might not realize you're tailgating them. Some might. You're carrying a firearm on you and decide to tailgate someone, and you continue to do that, and this person realizes it. They might decide to start, maybe they'll brake check you or something like that. Now you hit the back of their vehicle. Now you got yourself in a situation where you got to deal with law enforcement because you just hit the back of someone's car. Now you're going to be charged with careless driving, all kinds of issues. You're going to have to go to court. Avoid it. Just avoid it. Don't tailgate. Blasting music. All right. There's lots of us out here that like to hear our music, our Young Dolph and Lil Tecca and all this hip hop and all that. I'm one of them. You know, I like to listen to that music. I like to blast it sometimes, but you have to be mindful. You know, when you're off, especially like me, when I'm off in my personal vehicle, I like to have my music up loud, and I have my windows rolled up. I never have my windows rolled down listening to loud music, but you have to be mindful that it can bother somebody. You know, it might bother someone. They might not want to hear all that noise. Maybe they had a rough day at work, and here you come down the road blasting you know, it could be anything. It could be classical music. It can be rock music. It could be hip hop. Like I listen to hip hop. I listen to all kinds of music, and you're blasting Young Dolph, or you're blasting rock music or whatever it is, and it disturbs someone and it upsets them. That can lead to an altercation that you don't need. So you have to be mindful of this stuff, and then it doesn't mean you can't do what you want to do, but you just have to be mindful of situations that you're putting yourself in. If it's late at night, you're going into a community somewhere where you shouldn't be doing that kind of thing because it's late, maybe it's past 10 p.m., then you have to be mindful. Maybe lower it a little bit, or you know, you could leave it loud, but don't leave it that loud. You know what I mean? I like listening to my music. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't, but you have to be mindful of this stuff, because you might be enjoying yourself, you're having a good old time in your car, and you know, you driving one of your muscle cars like me. I got a loud engine on my V8. I got a Ford P71 V8. It's like a Mustang, very loud vehicle. Even something like that, some people might not want to hear that. They don't want to hear that muffler. So you have to be careful if you're driving around any kind of residential area. You know, if you can drive slower, you know, even though the engine's going to be loud or whatever, you're blasting your music. That's something that you could control. Blasting your music, you can control it. Roll your windows up. Just try to be respectful. Try to be as responsible as possible. You know, we know that you can't avoid everything. You know, you got to live your life as well. But these are just some tips that we want you to be mindful of, and then just incorporate in your everyday lives. That way it makes it easier for you and everybody else around you. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and switch over real quick. Switch the camera over for a minute. That way we can show you a duffel bag that I carry for work, and tell you everything I carry in it, and then we'll end the video for tonight. Stand by. All right, YouTube, and here we are. All right, real quick before we end this video for tonight. So told you guys that I'm a deputy sheriff. I have a post now at a building. I've been at a building for the last 10 years. A post that I man that post. I carry my duffel bag. I've got a few bags that I carry with me, but this is my primary bag. I got another bag that I carry all kinds of other stuff, like my ticket book if I have to write a ticket, all kinds of other stuff like chargers for my phones and equipment. And then I have a laptop case I carry as well, with my laptop, my iPad, all that stuff on the side. But this is the main one right here. This is a duffel bag, simple duffel bag. I keep my medical kit in here. I'll show you the medical kit real quick, just so you could get a look at. We're gonna do a review later on this medical kit, so you can see the specifics. But just for tonight, right? Got this nice trauma kit right here. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. We're not gonna show you that for tonight. Go ahead and put that away. I keep my I'll keep a lunch bag in here with a cooler, just in case I have to move from my location and I don't have time to throw my stuff in the fridge. I keep everything in here. I got the lunch box, I got the medical trauma kit, and then I have additional ammo in here, and any kind of medication or vitamins or any of that stuff that I need to take on a daily basis. I've got all that in this bag. If I have to, you know, let's say there's a situation I have to run, there's a incident that occurs, I have everything I need in this duffel bag. I could go ahead and throw it on my back like this, and take off and run, go do what I have to do. Again, like I told you, I have a post that I man, that I'm in charge of. I man that post, but at any moment's notice, if I have to take off, run, go to a different location and cover some other part of the building or other buildings in the area that I'm located at, I could go ahead and I have everything in the bag I need. I got additional ammo to be able to do my job in any kind of critical incident, and then I have my trauma kit, and then I have all my other stuff that I take to work on a daily basis. So that's just for you guys to take a look and see the duffel bag I was talking about. We'll get more into the trauma kit and all that in another video, but for the sake of this video tonight, this is all, it's over with, it's done. Try to not make it too long, but it went longer than expected. Once again, we're going to do our shout outs to 3 channels on YouTube we collaborate with. Gun Freak Nation on YouTube. We have Trey57 Production also on YouTube. And then we have the Alert Zone TV. That's the 3rd one on YouTube. All these channels are Second Amendment advocates like us. They preach lawful self-defense, and they do gun reviews like us and all kinds of other good content. If you haven't already subscribed to them, please do. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you. Cheers.